Let me ask you a question, and I want you to answer it honestly. When you get up from your favorite armchair after watching a movie, do your legs feel a little stiff? A little less reliable than they used to be? Maybe you find yourself placing a hand on the banister when you go up the stairs, not just for balance, but for a little bit of a push. Or perhaps you've noticed that carrying the groceries in from the car feels just a bit more challenging than it did last year. If any of that sounds familiar, you are not alone. And if you've ever told yourself, well, this is just part of getting older, I'm here today to respectfully challenge that idea. What if I told you that some of the most powerful tools to fight back against age-related muscle loss in your legs aren't found in a sweaty gym or a punishing workout routine? What if the key was hidden in the last few hours of your day, in a simple nighttime routine that most people overlook? There is a genuine breakthrough in our understanding of how our bodies repair themselves overnight, and it revolves around a vitamin we all thought we understood: vitamin D. But it's not just about popping a pill. The secret lies in a specific combination of timing and synergy that can turn your sleep into a powerful muscle rebuilding session. Stick with me for this entire video, and I promise to give you a clear, science-backed, step-by-step plan to help protect and even rebuild the strength in your legs so you can maintain your independence and live with confidence for years to come. The weakening of our leg muscles as we age is a genuine concern, and it has a medical name: sarcopenia. The National Institute on Aging reports that after the age of 50, adults can lose as much as 1% of their muscle mass every single year. Now, 1% might not sound like a lot, but imagine that compounding year after year. It's the reason why activities that were once effortless become difficult. It's a primary factor behind the increased risk of falls, which, as we all know, can be a life-altering event for seniors. For too long, the narrative has been that this is an unstoppable decline. But groundbreaking research from institutions like the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition and Johns Hopkins Medicine is painting a very different and much more hopeful picture. They're showing us that with targeted nutrition and specific daily habits, we can put the brakes on muscle loss and, in some cases, even reverse it. Our goal today is ambitious. We're going to build the ultimate nighttime routine based on this cutting-edge science to specifically combat this process. We're going to walk through 5 critical steps, one by one. I'm going to lay it all out for you, from the simple science of why each step works to the exact actions you can take starting tonight. We'll talk about a specific type of pre-bedtime snack that fuels overnight repair, a mineral that acts as the unsung hero of muscle function, and of course, we will dive deep into the vitamin D breakthrough. Why, when you take it, and what you take it with, are the secrets to unlocking its true power. And you'll definitely want to stick around for the very first step we'll cover, which is a simple 5-minute activity that primes your legs for a full night of rebuilding. It's a game changer. So get comfortable, and let's begin this journey to stronger, more reliable legs together. And a quick but important reminder: I'm not a doctor, and the information in this video is for educational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have seen in this video. Now, let's get into our first powerful step. So let's start our journey with the 5th and final piece of your nighttime routine, which is actually the first thing you should think about as your evening begins to wind down. We'll call this Step 5 the de-stress ritual, which is all about setting the stage for repair. Let me paint a picture for you. It's 10 o'clock at night. You've turned off the television, brushed your teeth, and climbed into bed. But instead of your mind calming down, it kicks into high gear. You start replaying a conversation from earlier in the day. You worry about your kids, your finances, or a doctor's appointment you have next week. Your body might be lying still, but your mind is running a marathon. This exact scenario, which is so common for so many of us, is a secret saboteur of muscle health. The reason for this comes down to a powerful hormone called cortisol. You've likely heard of it as the stress hormone. When we are in that state of mental churn and worry, our body is flooded with cortisol. And here's the critical part. Cortisol is what scientists call a catabolic hormone. The word catabolic simply means it breaks things down. In a fight or flight situation, this is useful as it breaks down tissue to provide a quick burst of energy. But when it's chronically elevated at night from worry and anxiety, it actively breaks down your muscle tissue while you sleep. It literally eats away at your hard-earned muscle. Furthermore, high cortisol levels at night are a known enemy of deep, restorative sleep. It disrupts the very sleep cycles where your body is supposed to be releasing its most powerful repair agent, human growth hormone, or HGH. So, you end up in a double whammy situation. A muscle-destroying hormone is elevated, and a muscle-building hormone is suppressed. This reminds me of my own mother. For years, she would complain about waking up feeling exhausted, her legs aching as if she'd run a race she couldn't remember. She insisted she was getting her 8 hours, but what she was getting was 8 hours of light, anxious sleep. She would lie in bed making to-do lists in her head for the next day. Her mind was never truly at rest. It wasn't until she consciously decided to build a barrier between her busy day and her bedtime that things started to change. The action step here is wonderfully simple and enjoyable. It's about creating a wind-down ritual for at least 20 to 30 minutes before you get into bed. This is a non-negotiable, screen-free zone. The blue light from televisions, tablets, and phones is known to interfere with melatonin production, your natural sleep hormone. Instead, you can read a physical book or a magazine. You can listen to some calming music or a relaxing podcast. You can even try some gentle stretching. One of the most powerful tools is simple, deep breathing. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Hold it for a count of 4. And then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. Doing this for just 5 minutes can dramatically lower cortisol levels and signal to your nervous system that it's safe to relax and repair. As for a red flag, if you are dealing with chronic debilitating anxiety or severe insomnia that isn't improved by these lifestyle changes, it is absolutely essential to speak with your doctor. These can be symptoms of underlying medical conditions that require professional care. But for most of us, creating this peaceful buffer zone is the foundational step that allows all the other pieces of our nighttime routine to work their magic. Now that we've created a calm, low cortisol environment that's primed for rest and repair, our body is going to need the right building materials to do its job. This brings us directly to step 4, the smart snack, which is all about fueling the machine overnight. Now let's tackle a common scenario. You eat a healthy, satisfying dinner around 6:30 in the evening. You feel full and content. Then, you don't eat anything else until you have your breakfast at 8 the next morning. That's a nearly 14-hour fasting window. While fasting has its benefits, for someone focused on preventing muscle loss, this long gap can be a problem. Why? Because muscle repair, or what scientists call muscle protein synthesis, is an energy-intensive process that requires a constant supply of amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein. When you go to bed nutritionally depleted after a long gap since dinner, your body can run out of readily available amino acids partway through the night. At that point, to get the amino acids it needs for other essential bodily functions, it can actually start breaking down your existing muscle tissue to find them. It's a classic case of robbing Peter to pay Paul. This is a point where we have to use our empathetic sandwich because it challenges a very old piece of advice. Many of us, myself included, were raised on the rule, don't eat anything before bed. It'll turn straight to fat. And that advice likely came from a good place, trying to prevent mindless late-night snacking on ice cream or chips. We can validate that intention. It's smart to avoid loading up on sugar and processed junk before you sleep. However, the critical new information is this. For the specific goal of preserving and building muscle as we age, the rules are a little different. A small, strategic, protein-focused snack before bed is not about indulgence. It's about providing the necessary raw materials for your body's overnight construction crew. Research, including studies published in the Journal of Nutrition, has shown that consuming protein before sleep can effectively stimulate muscle protein synthesis throughout the night, leading to better net muscle gains. The action step is to have a small, protein-rich snack about 60 to 90 minutes before you plan to go to sleep. We're not talking about a full meal. Think of it as a nutritional deposit. Excellent choices include a small bowl of plain Greek yogurt, which is packed with protein. A small glass of milk is another fantastic option. Milk contains a high proportion of what's called casein protein, which is famously slow digesting. It forms a gel-like substance in the stomach, releasing its amino acids into your bloodstream gradually over several hours, providing that perfect, steady stream of fuel all night long. A small handful of almonds or a cottage cheese cup are also great choices. The key is to focus on protein and keep the portion size modest. Now, for the red flag, if you suffer from GERD or acid reflux, eating too close to bedtime can certainly aggravate your symptoms. In this case, you'll want to talk to your doctor or a registered dietitian. You might need to have your snack a bit earlier, say 2 to 3 hours before bed, or choose foods that you know don't trigger your reflux. It's about finding the right balance that works for your individual body, providing those crucial building blocks without disrupting your comfort or sleep. So we've calmed the mind with our de-stress ritual and provided the protein fuel with our smart snack. Now, we need to make sure our muscles can actually use that fuel and function correctly. This leads us to step number 3, a nutrient I like to call the unsung hero of muscle health, the magnesium boost. Let me ask you this. Do you ever experience those frustrating leg cramps that jolt you awake in the middle of the night? Or a persistent feeling of restlessness in your legs, where you just can't seem to get them comfortable? For millions of older adults, these are just minor annoyances. They are often the body's warning signal of a deficiency in a critical mineral, magnesium. According to data from the National Institutes of Health, a huge percentage of seniors in America do not get the recommended daily amount of magnesium. This is a quiet epidemic with major consequences for our muscles. The science here is fascinating. We often hear about calcium being important for muscle contraction. Well, magnesium is the other side of that coin. It is essential for muscle relaxation. Think of it like a light switch. Calcium turns the muscle on to contract it, and magnesium turns it off to allow it to relax. When you are low in magnesium, your muscles can't fully get that off signal. They remain in a state of partial tension, which leads to cramps, spasms, and that feeling of tightness. But its role goes even deeper. Magnesium is a required cofactor in over 300 biochemical reactions in the body. It's crucial for energy production within the muscle cells themselves, for maintaining a healthy heart rhythm, and for proper nerve function. And, connecting back to our first step, magnesium plays a vital role in regulating neurotransmitters that promote calm and deep sleep, helping you stay in those restorative sleep stages longer. I have a vivid memory of my uncle, a wonderful man who, in his late 70s, was plagued by nightly leg cramps. He would be up 2 or 3 times a night, pacing the floor in pain. He tried everything: stretching, drinking more water, quinine water. Nothing worked. His doctor finally tested his magnesium levels and found they were, in his words, on the floor. It was a huge aha moment. The action plan for boosting magnesium has two parts. The first is always food first. Your dinner, the last big meal of the day, is the perfect opportunity to load up on magnesium-rich foods. Think leafy green vegetables like spinach and Swiss chard, nuts and seeds like almonds and pumpkin seeds, legumes like black beans and lentils, and even dark chocolate in moderation. Making a conscious effort to include these foods in your evening meal can make a significant difference. The second part is considering supplementation, but this must be done carefully. For many, a supplement can be an effective way to bridge the nutritional gap. Magnesium glycinate is a form that is often recommended because it's known to be well absorbed and gentle on the digestive system, unlike some other forms that can have a laxative effect. It's also bound to glycine, an amino acid that itself has calming properties. However, and this is the most important part, you must talk to your doctor before starting any new supplement, especially magnesium. And this leads to our critical red flag. For individuals with kidney disease, taking magnesium supplements can be dangerous because compromised kidneys may not be able to filter it out of the blood effectively. Your doctor can assess your personal health status, perhaps check your levels with a blood test, and help you determine if a supplement is safe and appropriate for you, and at what dosage. All right, let's just take a quick pause here. We are more than halfway through our 5-step plan to build a powerful nighttime routine against muscle loss. We've covered the importance of de-stressing to lower muscle-wasting cortisol, fueling our body with a smart protein snack for overnight repair, and ensuring we have enough of the unsung hero, magnesium, for proper muscle function and relaxation. These are huge, actionable steps that can make a real difference. If you're finding this guide helpful and are having some of your own aha moments, I would be so grateful if you took just a second to tap that like button below this video. It truly helps our channel reach more people who, just like you, are looking for reliable, empowering information to take control of their health. Thank you so much for that. Now, let's get to the star of our show, the breakthrough that ties everything together. This brings us to the centerpiece of our routine, step number 2, the vitamin D synergy secret. This is the breakthrough I mentioned at the very beginning. Let's start with a very common scenario. Maybe it sounds like you. You go for your annual physical, and your doctor notes that your vitamin D levels are a bit low, which is incredibly common. They recommend you start taking a supplement. So you do. You dutifully take your vitamin D pill every single morning, maybe with a sip of water or your morning coffee, and you figure you've checked that box. But then, a year later, your levels are still not optimal, and you certainly don't feel any stronger or more energetic. You're left wondering, what's going on? I'm doing what I was told. The problem isn't the vitamin D itself. It's that we've been given an incomplete instruction manual. The first part of the secret lies in understanding that vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. This means it cannot be absorbed properly into your bloodstream without the presence of dietary fat. Taking it with just water or black coffee is like trying to send a package without postage. It simply won't get where it needs to go. It will pass through your system, largely unabsorbed. This alone is a revelation for many people, but the real breakthrough is in the synergy, how vitamin D works as part of a team. Think of vitamin D as the general manager of a construction project. Its main job is to make sure the primary building material, calcium, gets delivered to the construction site, which means being absorbed from your gut into your blood. But once the calcium is in the blood, the general manager needs a traffic cop to tell it where to go. That traffic cop is another vitamin called vitamin K2. Vitamin K2's job is to activate proteins that direct the calcium to be deposited in your bones and muscles where it's needed, and, crucially, to keep it out of places where it can cause harm, like your arteries and soft tissues. A study from the Journal of the American Heart Association has highlighted the importance of this partnership for cardiovascular health. Without enough K2, you can absorb a lot of calcium, but it might end up hardening your arteries instead of strengthening your skeleton. And there's one more team member, magnesium, our unsung hero from step 3. It turns out your body cannot convert vitamin D from the storage form into its active, usable form without sufficient magnesium. Magnesium is the key that starts the engine. So you can take all the vitamin D you want, but if you're low on magnesium, it will just sit there in storage, unable to do its job. This is the synergy: vitamin D for absorption, vitamin K2 for direction, and magnesium for activation. They are a three-legged stool. Without all three, the system is unstable. The action step here is to completely rethink how you take your vitamin D. First, take your supplement with your largest meal of the day, which for many people is dinner. Your evening meal is the one most likely to contain the healthy fats from olive oil, avocado, nuts, or fish needed for optimal absorption. This timing ensures the vitamin is actually getting into your system. Second, look for a supplement that combines vitamin D3 with vitamin K2. They are often sold together precisely because of this synergistic relationship. This ensures your traffic cop is on duty. And third, by incorporating the magnesium-rich foods or the doctor-approved supplement we discussed in our last step, you're ensuring the activation key is available. This trifecta, taken with your evening meal, creates the perfect storm for these nutrients to be absorbed and put to work during the night, while your body is in its prime repair and rebuilding state. And for the essential red flag, vitamin D dosage is not one size fits all, and more is not always better. It's vital to get your levels tested by your doctor with a simple blood test called the 25-hydroxy vitamin D test. Based on your results, your doctor can recommend the precise, effective, and safe dosage for you. This isn't about guesswork. It's about personalized, scientific strategy. We have now set the stage perfectly. We've calmed the mind, we've fueled the body with protein, and we've delivered the powerful trio of vitamin D, K2, and magnesium right on time for our sleep cycle. There is just one final piece to this puzzle. It's the step that sends a direct, physical signal to your legs, telling them, "Get ready, we are about to rebuild you." This brings us to step number 1, the most proactive part of your routine, the pre-sleep leg activation. Let's consider a very typical evening for many of us. We finish dinner, clean up the kitchen, and then migrate to the living room couch or a comfortable recliner. We might sit there for 2, 3, or even 4 hours, watching television, reading, or chatting. Then, when it's time for bed, we get up and shuffle off to the bedroom. During that long period of inactivity, you've been sending a powerful message to your body. That message is, these leg muscles are not being used. They are not a priority. We can divert resources elsewhere. The old adage, use it or lose it, is a profound biological truth. When muscles are not stimulated, the body, being incredibly efficient, begins the process of decommissioning them. It's a physiological signal to shut down for the night. We want to do the exact opposite. We want to send one final, clear signal that says, "Attention, these muscles are important. We need them to be strong and ready for tomorrow. Please direct all those nutrients we just consumed to this area for repair and reinforcement." This is not a workout. The goal is not to get sweaty or exhausted. That would be counterproductive, raising your heart rate and cortisol right before bed. Think of it as a gentle wake-up call for your muscles. The science is simple and elegant. By performing a few simple body weight movements, you increase blood flow directly to the large muscles of your legs, your glutes, your quadriceps, and your calves. This surge in circulation acts like a delivery service, rushing the amino acids from your protein snack and the newly absorbed vitamins and minerals directly to the muscle tissues that need them most. It's like priming a pump, ensuring the raw materials are delivered right to the factory door, just as the night shift is about to begin. My own father, a man named Bob who was always skeptical of anything that sounded like exercise, was the perfect case study. He was worried about his weakening legs, but hated the idea of a gym. I convinced him to try what he called his 5-minute TV sign-off. Right after his favorite late-night show ended, before he went to brush his teeth, he would do his little routine right there in the living room. He said it made his legs feel alive and warm before bed. And over a few months, he swore he felt a new sturdiness when he walked. The action step here is to create your own simple 5-minute activation routine. You can do this right before you head to the bathroom to brush your teeth. It should be gentle and focus on controlled movements. For example, stand facing your kitchen counter or a sturdy piece of furniture for support. Perform 10 to 15 slow and controlled bodyweight squats. Only go as low as feels comfortable for your knees. Bend. Still holding on for balance, do 10 to 15 calf raises, really focusing on squeezing the calf muscles at the top. Finally, you could do a few gentle leg stretches, like a hamstring stretch or a quad stretch, holding each for about 20 seconds. That's it. It's a short, simple sequence designed for activation, not exhaustion. And of course, there is a very important red flag. If you have significant joint pain, especially in your knees or hips, or if you have balance issues or have had recent surgery on your lower body, it is crucial that you speak with a doctor or a physical therapist first. They can help you design a modified routine that is safe and effective for your specific condition. This final activation step is the capstone of the entire routine. It's the physical command that directs all the wonderful biochemical work we've set in motion, ensuring your body spends the night not just resting, but actively rebuilding the foundation of your mobility and your independence. So let's take a moment and look at what we've accomplished together today. We haven't just learned a few random health tips. We have built a comprehensive, synergistic system for fighting back against age-related muscle loss. Think of these as your 5 major victories for your health. Your first win is taking control of your pre-sleep environment with the de-stress ritual, transforming your bedroom from a place of anxiety into a sanctuary for repair. Your second win is outsmarting overnight muscle breakdown by introducing the Smart Protein Snack, giving your body the essential fuel it needs. Your third win is empowering your muscles at a cellular level with the Magnesium Boost, the unsung hero that allows for relaxation and energy production. Your fourth and biggest win is unlocking the true potential of your vitamins with the Vitamin D Synergy Secret, understanding that it's the team of D3, K2, and magnesium taken with fat that delivers the real results. And your fifth win is sending that final, powerful signal with the pre-sleep leg activation, ensuring all that good work is directed right where you need it most, to the muscles that carry you through life. The core message of everything we've discussed is one of power and autonomy. The narrative that weakening legs are an inevitable part of aging is outdated and disempowering. The science is now clear. We have an incredible amount of influence over how our bodies age. By understanding the why behind these simple actions, you are no longer just passively hoping for the best. You are actively participating in your own health, making informed, intelligent choices every single evening that will pay dividends in strength, stability, and confidence for years to come. You are the one in the driver's seat. Now, I would love to hear from you. Which of these 5 steps was the biggest aha moment for you? Was it the idea of a pre-sleep snack, the synergy of the vitamins, or something else entirely? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Reading your experiences and insights is one of the best parts of making these videos, and it helps everyone in our community learn from each other. And finally, if you enjoyed this deep dive and found it valuable, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that little notification bell. That way, you won't miss out on our future videos, where we continue to explore science-backed ways to live a vibrant, healthy, and empowered life. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Be well, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.